And that leads to number 4. So if you find that you are not well suited, cut out for remote working, but that is the way your job is set up, this is a really important time to talk to your manager and explain to them. Now, as you know, you've heard me say enough times, before you have important conversations, write out everything you need to say. Make sure you understand all the important details so that when you go into that conversation, you have not only, here's the challenge, here's my possible solutions, here's where I'd like to collaborate with you on this. What do you think? Because managers who don't know how to solve the problem for you are going to be stuck. Or those that have said, well, gosh, this is what the job is, and you knew that when you took it, is mostly a response that happens when they don't know what else is an option. So by you understanding yourself first, being able to understand what's important to you, where you work well, how you work well, what environment you need, and then coming with options of places or situations that you have come up with as possible solutions. Now you give that person choices and you give them interaction. And not in every case is this going to work. But in cases where you're trying to make sure you're being the most effective, you're, for instance, trying to avoid isolation or loneliness, those conversations will actually empower your manager to feel much more confident in you. It will increase the communication and make them feel more like, wow, this person really knows what makes them tick. And what they're trying to do right now is help me to make them as effective as they can in their job. We're going to find a solution for it. So a little more than a year ago, I guess about a year and a half ago, I remember one day I was working from home like I have always, and I was in my pajamas because I didn't have any phone calls that day, no video calls that day. And all of a sudden I realized it was like 3:30 and my husband was going to come home in about an hour. And I thought, I got to get out of these pajamas. And then I realized I'm making that statement every day right before he comes home. And I don't want to be in my pajamas all day. I need to interact with people. I need to have a reason to get up and, put myself together, put on my fabulous clothes. And it was such a stark realization to me because literally for 25 years of my career, I have worked remotely. So my office has either been in my home, in an airport, in a hotel, at a client's office, maybe at a corporate headquarters that I travel to very infrequently. But I'd always been remote. And I hadn't realized how lonely that was. So I remember thinking, what am I going to do? So I was looking at, the WeWorks and, other shared workspaces. And I've spent plenty of time in Starbucks and in, hotel lobbies, working from those places just to be around people. But I found something a little unique for me. It was a place called Club Core is the parent company. And in Philadelphia, where I live, we have one called the Pyramid Club. And the Pyramid Club is basically kind of half workspace, half, restaurant, half meeting space. I guess that means it's 1.5 spaces. So not good at math. I think we've already established that. But it has this really nice mix. And there's social events and there's business roundtables and committees and groups and things you can be a part of. And it's a very, very small amount of money every month to participate in this. And when I first joined, I remember thinking, well, this is silly. I have my own home office just, a mile away. Why would I pay to go sit somewhere else? Boy, I'll tell you, it didn't take me long before I realized that was what I needed, was the mental break. And now I don't always go there because sometimes, too many people want to talk and yap and I need to get work done. But the other part of it is that sense of, feeling like you're a part of something bigger, having that ability to be around people. You don't always have to interact, but just hearing them and seeing them, and especially in a place where you get to know a lot of people. Those things did wonders for a sense of isolation that I didn't realize I had. And when it finally dawned on me that it wasn't about getting out of my pajamas, it was about communicating with people, that I recognized, wow, I've missed a lot in all my travels. So what is your assignment then? If any of this rang true for you, then here's my challenge for you and my assignment. First of all, take the time. Really journal about what is your ideal environment. What do you need? How are you most effective? What time of day are you most effective? Who do you need to be around or not be around? And how does that work into your current working environment? If, like me, you need someplace to not be isolated, there are many, many creative opportunities out there for you. But you're going to want to brainstorm that. And if you're not quite sure where to go, then talk to somebody that you know and respect and trust. Tell them what you're facing and be honest with them. I think it's really important to say, I feel isolated, or I don't feel most effective when I am working from home, or I don't want my home to be mixed up with my work. And that's another option that many people feel, is I want my home life to be my home life, because otherwise, how do I leave it when I want to have my personal life? So when you have this discussion with somebody that you trust, then you can have somebody else give you other ideas too, a fresh perspective. And finally, if you work for somebody else, then after you've thought through the process, be very clear about what you think you can do or what you want to talk about, because it may involve talking about a membership to a different kind of meeting club or some kind of shared work environment. And if you present it correctly, you may be able to have those things paid for by your employer. But you'll never have it unless you ask. And the greatest chance of getting it is to be very clear, very calm, and very open in your communications. And to do that, it also means a lot of practice. So I hope you found this helpful, and as always, share your comments and your questions and your feedback to sypapp@shockyourpotential.com.